I feel like there should be some kind of springy birds or something because it's the Springville season. Anyway, welcome back to another Talk Dragon Tuesday with RPW. Now today is April 16th, which means we've gotten into week 7 of the Spring Blossom season, which means we're in the second half of the season. So certainly hope you guys have made the progression so far that you've been wanting to make. But today's video, we're going to be going over some of the things you need to know about the week. And I'm going to go ahead and reveal some of my personal progression so far this season so you guys can see where I'm at so far. Now, if you're new to my channel, first of all, I want to say welcome. We appreciate having you over here. This is a very open and happy community over here at the RPW Gaming channel. There are very few, but in between, bad comments, but it's generally a very positive place to be. So we're glad to have you. Now, before you leave, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and sign up for notifications so you don't miss out on things like this, the weekly giveaways. So yes, every week you can win up to $20 on in-game packs here on this video. We'll go over those details later. But first, this week will be the fortification event. If you're new to the game, I should say, fortifications is where you will earn points for building up your towers, which is why you don't want to use those timers in between those events. Now, this week they have announced that level 80 farms will be released. So you'll be able to build those up if you are already that far and be able to build up those level 80 farms. So yes, that's coming this week, which I'm sure many of you that have needed this is going to be very happy to see it's coming. So awesome news for you. Now, you also might want to keep an eye out because there's going to be new looks going out for minor events. And what do I mean by that? They're going to have a different sheen with their chests. They're going to have just a different look for all minor events. So that includes feeding events and fortification and breeding, I believe. But anyways, check that out. Now, you know how I feel about boosts. They are so thinly spread in the prizing in such a weird way. So I want to go over with you guys, an idea of no boosts. Now what? What do you do? So first, let's talk about the issue as to what I mean by boosts. Now, this is my alt. This is not my main because my main does not have any lumber boosts to show. But if you will even notice here, like this alt has 17 food boosts and only 3 lumber boosts. And that's because consistently over the last year, food boosts have been at this outrageous rate of giveaway. Like there's just so many of them in comparison to the lumber boost. And it used to be that you could get like one lumber boost in the beginning of a branch, and then you get 3 in the middle of the food boost. Well, now they've taken it to a whole new level where now you can get 4 of one type on one branch and 4 of the other type on the other branch. And of course, the food boosts are not on the discount branch. I'm sorry, the lumber boosts aren't on the discount branch. They're on the opposite. So PG, I really think that you guys are missing something here. This is a big problem. However, you guys can go make these. If you feel that it's worth 1,000 rubies to go make these boost packs, you can make these in the Forge building. It's completely up to you. But you got to ask yourself, is it worth it? And if you do, I suggest that you do it maybe the last day of the event, like the last 24 hours, because, people will be less needy of that lumber to take it from you. Or you could even do it the first 24 hours. That way you're kind of safe, protecting what you do get in the very beginning. But let's say you don't have that ability, you don't have the rubies, you don't want to spend your rubies on that. So it's like, okay, I still have no boosts. So now what can I do to ensure that I get, good points in this event? Well, there are going to be some tips I'm going to go over with you guys, but, please note that if you're on a team that has Atlas, yes, you're going to get the Atlas crap with it, but being on that team, you're going to have the ability, as long as they have castles, to store lumber away, and they'll usually divide that up between the team. I don't know how other teams do it because I've really only led my own team and I've only seen a few others, and one actually adopted my idea of the bank ledging system. So no boosts, 5 tips for you guys. Now, number 1 thing you can do is bounce lumber off one-line players. So like you and a buddy can be going out doing attacks and bouncing it off one another so that nobody can take that from you. Number 2, you can utilize any alts you have. Every morning when you log in, if you have alts on your team, just send that stuff that they have to yourself. Just be like, bam. Because you can always help your alts in the last day, right? Number 3, attack regional teams when they're in bed. And what do I mean by that? Okay, so some teams will straight up say that they are an Australian team, for example. If you look and see what time that they're in bed, you can generally tell, okay, between 4 in the morning for them would be a great time to just go through and hit their players. So you can kind of get an idea of when is the best time to attack them. Number 4, look for storage huts that are still looking like shacks. Now, the reason I mean this is, or what I mean by this is, whenever you go into your attack, and I've gone over this several times in other videos in the past, when you go in and you click attack, you click to see the actual islands versus the map view. I think it's called, I don't remember the name of it, but if you click on that, you're going to be able to see what their storage hut looks like. If it's in the middle of upgrading, it's going to look like a shack, like they've never built it yet. That's going to be a great indicator that there's no boosts. I mean, there is a chance they boosted that before they upgraded it. So it's not 100%, but I'd say 75% of the time you're going to find that they have no boosts on their base. So it's a great way to kind of choose who doesn't have one. It's going to give you a better, amount back. And then, of course, last but not least, having a system for your banks if you are on an Atlas team. Now, what I mean by that is, when we have the Royal Guardians going, we only could hold like so many million lumber. Maybe it was thousands. I can't even remember. I think it was millions. But no, wait a minute. Yeah, it was millions because we would divide out 1 million per player. But anyways, so we'd also have this bank ledging system, which is a chat room. We call it the bank ledger. And during resource events, you would go in and you would add your lumber to the bank, right? And then you would type in there how much you added. You would round it down, round it to the nearest million or whatever, or 1,000. And you could simply just keep adding and adding and adding. And then once you've farmed enough and you've got what you need, you'd say requesting so much lumber, and then an officer or a banker would send it to you. And this way, nobody was getting cheated. Nobody was getting the lumber that somebody else was trying to store away from themselves later. So it really prevented any kind of upset. And it's actually ended up being for that reason of, in the very beginning. But by the time I got this bank ledger chat going, I noticed that we were scoring even higher in events than usual. We would even end the event with like a full bank of lumber because people were like, well, just in case. So it was just a really great system. And I will be going over that in my Atlas video coming up soon. But anyways, with that being said, I would suggest that. Now, I will have that video for Atlas series coming up probably right before the next fort event so that you guys are prepared for that and can utilize that a little bit better. But, it does take a little bit of time to get that kind of thing set up in your team. So it wouldn't be really a time to come out and show you guys how I do it right now. So anyways, those are the 5 big tips that I have for you. There are some other things out there. Remember that whenever you attack smaller players, you're not going to get as much. But if you attack larger players, you're going to get far more. An example of this, a really great example of this. One time I was out doing attacks. I had my alt with me. My alt's like a level 150, I think. And I'm a level, what am I now, like 300 and some. So whenever I was doing an attack, I found a person that had, I think it was like 100,000 lumber. And I went ahead and just went and looked up that team with my alt. To my alt, it showed that it had 300,000 lumber because my alt was so much smaller. So that is one thing you got to remember is if you have an alt, you could sit there in your team, go out and do better attacks with it. If it's in that 100 range, there's something about level 120 to 160 where those accounts really get tons of stuff. I don't know if it's an issue with the game, if it's an imbalance situation, but it's something you could definitely take advantage of. Anyways, there is 5 tips for you if you don't have lumber boosts for this round. But remember, that 1,000 rubies is 1,000 rubies. However, it might be worth it to you, especially on the last day. I would not get that in the middle of the day because it would be nothing like waking up and there'd be nothing left every day during the middle of this event. So I'd wait till towards the end. Now, I do want to show you guys my progression. This way you can see what I look like, what my size is prior to the event, and then afterwards. And then we'll talk about a little bit of my progression in the season so far. So right now, I'm a 323, and my goal is not to go up over, that 340 marker in this event because, I'm still trying to slow down a little bit, but I should be in Harbinger come next event. So I'm super excited about that. But let's go ahead and look at my branch, and I'll show you guys my branches, I should say, my prizes, so I can show you guys my personal progression so far in the Spring Blossom season. Okay, so the first thing I went for, of course, was the Haku branch because he was discounted, and I was able to get him finished in before the discount drop. So I was pretty excited about that. Well, actually, no, all but one. I had to forward the last one over, which wasn't a huge deal. Then I started on the Sato branch, which I got down to his last 3 prizes up to this event. I had a little bit of sigils left over, so I went back and continued a little bit on my egg token missions because I want to make sure I get as many egg things as I possibly can, those fragments. And there are no fragments, unfortunately, in the Rider event, so I'm worried about that before the next breeding. So I'll hop back over, and then that we have the stuff for the next PvP, of course. So then after I get done with that branch, I'm going to go back over and work on the other Rider and then Kazane. I'm going to try to get Kazane all the way because I think those fire shards alone are going to be 100% worth it. And that should give me my 3rd key, which I am going for Zenko. Unfortunately, unlike a lot of YouTubers out there, I don't have the funding to get these mythic dragons right off the bat. So unfortunately, I don't have any kind of gameplay on these types of dragons for you guys. So we will get to that on a later date. The great thing is about that, though, I mean, granted, I don't have the gameplay for you guys, but you're going to be able to see that going for these things is possible with minimal spending. I'm not saying that, you know, you will have to spend money, but you're going to be able to see, okay, was I able to, with minimal spending, get the mythic plus something? And if that's the case, then that means that if you do work hard and you do grind out these events, that even you can get a mythic. So I know there's a lot of people out there that, you know, gripe about the PG being greedy and this and that, and then they do videos and then they've already got both mythics or one of the mythics. And I'm like, how do you even do that? Like, I can't imagine the amount of money that that costed you already today. Anyways, I want to go ahead and announce my newest feature to the RPW family, which is the new Team of the Week feature that was inspired by a team that reached out to me last week, whose leadership left them and went on to a larger team. So they were sitting there with very few players, not few, they had a few spots open. And so what I decided to do was start a weekly feature team. So I haven't got to announce it yet because it was so last minute, but I do want to go ahead and start announcing this. So if your team, for any reason, wants any kind of help recruiting for your team, be sure to send me a message explaining why your team, of course, should be mentioned. And then go ahead and give me some screenshots of your team information and give me a little message as to what you would like for people to know why they should join your team. Now, this next week, it will be the first time I will choose one. So I would wait till towards the end of the week before you put in your entries. That way they're very updated, very, you know, especially the levels. But let's say you want help at the end of this upcoming event and you would like for your team to be chosen, then be sure to send that information to me over online. And unfortunately, it's not RPW. That's not the name of my ID. It's actually Royal Pain Wife. So if you send me that stuff over there, then you will be featured on my next Talk Dragon Tuesday, and we'll be picking one every single week that will go out. I'll either do just a separate video or they'll be on Talk Dragon Tuesday. It'll be something of that nature. Probably a separate video, actually, but we'll see. And then, of course, I will post your stuff to all the different, you know, sites and stuff that I have as well. So reach out to me and let me know why I should be recruiting for your team. And I'll help you guys out. Hopefully that helps you guys in the long run. And I'd like to see a lot of participation in this because I really think this could be a big help for you guys. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into the information for this past week's giveaway winners, or winner, I should say. We actually did a riddle last week, which I want to go over with you guys before we go into the details of who won. And of course, this riddle was based on, you know, this idea of something that we don't really utilize very often. It could be hidden in the background. So boost me or boost me not, no matter where you keep me, I never rot. I will forever linger either way in hopes that you will use me someday. What am I? Now, I really messed up when I did this riddle because you guys had so many answers that matched this riddle, and I was like, oh my gosh, I never thought about other possible answers. So yeah, I made a pretty big boo-boo, guys. With that being said, I'm going to, of course, open up my drawing to anybody and everyone because I did mess it up. I meant it to be a dragon rider. Like, the whole idea was, okay, so I want my answer to be dragon rider. I'm going to make up a riddle based on a dragon rider. And I didn't think about the fact that the word boosts would, you know, linger everybody towards something else. And there are so many answers that go with boosts. Now, my whole idea and the premises is you can put extra stuff on this guy. Like, you can put your, you know, rider gear on there and that gives him a boost, a buff, whatever you want to call it. You can level him up. So if you remember, I am a huge fan of junk riders because you can use those for egg missions, and you can use those to kind of boost up your dragons for your tempo raid events. So this was what it was meant to be. It was meant to be the answer of a dragon rider. However, nobody got that answer, which made me really think, oh, I think I may have messed up in my riddle a little bit because I utilized the word boosts, which can be in so many manners. Like you can get the egg token boost, for example, where you can get the boost for the egg missions, or you can get the new, base building boost, or you can boost your little, monuments, or you can get boosts for your lumber production or your food production. So because it could be any of those things, I've decided, it's better off to do a random pick this week. I'm so sorry that boost caused confusion. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. We're just going to do another random pick like we normally do on any just normal, drawing day. And let's pick the winner. Sorry about that, guys. Seriously, I am very sorry. All right, so let's see who the winner is for this week's contest. It is going to be, oh no, it's Rogue. And she actually put egg tokens. So again, like it's something you can boost. Anyways, congratulations. Oh no, it's Rogue. You're the winner of this week's contest. You should get your prize in the next 2 weeks for more dragons, and it should come in the form of a $20 in-game pack that they kind of put together for you. But if you're interested in trying to enter for this week's contest, it's not a riddle. I don't have time to put a riddle together for you guys today. It is just a simple entry for your chance to win in the comment section below. So in order to win this week's, you're going to have to go down to the bottom of the video, go down to the comment section, and you're going to push comment. If you can't get to the comment section, you need to actually go into YouTube to do this so you're logged into your account. But you know how I've been really trying to focus in on, making sure that players that are new on my beginner series, I'm talking about how you should be very careful how you build your base. You don't want to overgrow your base versus your dragons. And of course, you want to always prioritize breeding your dragons over building your base. So this week, we're going to be commencing that and showing them, all of us. I know myself, I think my highest level tower is a 50 or 54 right now, will become a 56. And my highest breed is an obsidian dragon. So I want you guys to do the same thing below. Comment your in-game name below and tell me what your highest tower level is. You can even tell me what it will be by the end of the event. And then what your highest dragon tier is as well. That way we can kind of show people that, look, you're not alone. There are lots of people out there that are either just equal or just below. It's not abnormal. And that there are those select few that are higher up. So, and then if you do find yourself where your base is way below your dragon tier, tell us the pros and cons. Tell us why you wish you were, somewhat bigger, because I know there are some cons to that as well. For example, getting that XP can be a lot harder if your dragons are way above your base level. So anyways, that is how you're going to be able to enter for a chance to win this week's contest. Now, next week, we'll do another random pick of these winners or of these entries, and then whoever is chosen will be the winner of this week's contest. And it's pretty cool. It's really, really shown so far that it's been very good to pick random and different. So I'm pretty excited about that. So I will see you guys next week for that winner. But I do have a little fancy announcement for everybody coming this week, of course. Now, we do already have some videos waiting to be posted for this week when it comes to the new series and the Return of Atlas series. But I also am going to be doing a very special interview with some very special people this week. So be sure to stay tuned. I don't know if I'll put that out this weekend or if it'll be Monday morning, but like I say, stay tuned because the video, once I do the interview, will be pretty darn exciting. I'm pretty excited about it. I get the bubblies in my tummy like, oh, I'm so excited. So anyways, I will see you guys on the other videos this week. Don't forget, like I said, if you're new to my channel, to hit that subscribe button and of course to hit that bell so you get notifications. And guys, I really appreciate any thumbs up. Even if you want to give me thumbs down, I don't care. Show me your support. Let me know that you guys still really appreciate these videos so that I can keep putting them up for you. That is very important. Anyways, guys, I'll see you guys next time. Happy hunting!